Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Kadena fam, Kadena crew, welcome back to Kadena Campfire, now Community Call 31. Most importantly, featuring Mike Herron, our new Chief Marketing Officer at Kadena. Hello, Mike. Yes, incredible. All right, so apparently
Can you
I
hear me?
cannot be heard. Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, I can't hear anything. Give me one quick second. This was just working. What is
It's okay.
going on here?
I've been known to speak a
How about
lot
now?
voluminously. Maybe someone in the live chat can tell me if you can hear me.
I can't hear
Thanks for
anything.
the shirt compliment. Appreciate that. 619 YZ. Oh, Christopher Robson. I think that means you can hear me. Is that a thumbs up from the Kadena crew? Sweet. Mike has nice hair. Yeah. Okay. Mike, are you in business, or are we having some technical difficulty? You know, we could do this really funny thing where Mike just says stuff and then I just sort of respond and he can't hear me. But we'll hopefully get some audio sorted out here in a moment. Yeah. What do we got here? Well, first of all, I got to say that we have some of the earliest arrivals of all time for today's Kadena Campfire. Frank Fractal here at, according to my time in California, 4:06 a.m. Congratulations, Frank, for being the earliest person to any campfire ever. That's pretty awesome. That is indeed deserving of the title Kadena Bro. I think that is quite clear. We also have a whole bunch of people streaming in before 9 a.m. here, which is incredible. Who bet 5 KDA Tyler is late today? Tear face. Well, hey, we hit that stream at 9 a.m. I feel good about that. Music here for the people who's waiting. Unfortunately, you just have me here, and my singing voice is always enthusiastic, but not always well received. That's what I've been told. But we can give it a go if you're really into it, JC. Cloud seems to be seconding that. Well, that wasn't live, so that's maybe unfair. Happy Wednesday, all. Yeah. I'm just going to be shamelessly stalling here as I give Mike a chance to troubleshoot some audio things. So no worries there. I can start. I just got a private DM from some of the Kadena team that said I can start singing Kadena Anthem. Thanks for that. Start singing the KDA Anthem. I haven't rehearsed that one. Oh, hello, everyone. Yeah. You can post questions wherever you'd like, Kadena UIE. This is going to be a super fun, interactive session. This is going to be Mike getting to know the community. This is going to be the community getting to know Mike. So we're going to have a lot of fun here today, getting to know each other and going to make it super, super interactive. So, bring the questions and interaction coming. Ron with the killer question. I was wondering what question came after when ledger. Now it's when sound. Ooh, I can't hear you. Can you now hear me? Oh, well, that's always exciting. Yeah, we have, this is known as the Heisenberg StreamYard principle, the Heisenberg YouTube principle, if you will. You can either hear someone and not hear them, or hear them and not be heard. It's a two-parter. Okay, maybe I'll stick to crypto jokes. I don't know how well my physics jokes are well received. What is the KDA anthem? That was a good question. Who called me out for, is there a Spotify list for stalling? I hope so. Grimfan, how quick are you at making playlists, man? If you want to pop one out for me, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Try kicking it, Mike. That always works for me. Let's all just give a ceremonial kick to like the ether right now, wherever the ether may be. Is your computer, the webs, the series of tubes? Yeah, that's whatever you want to kick. Sounds good. Control Delete. Oh, I love it. Mike has mic off. It's really more of a mic drop, if you ask me. But I think mic off is also pretty good. Yeah. We got eyes on the lips. Oh, I heard something. Oh, I hear a click. Mike, we might have you. Say? I think I can hear you. Oh, you can't hear me. Unmute him, Tyler. Before the call, one of the most hilarious things happened. which was apparently everyone else's audio was coming through on Mike's headset, and only my voice was coming through his speakers on his computer, which were completely muted. I'd like to think that's because of my technological superpowers. Some of you may be aware, but definitely in the mystical domain. It's good Mike is not our CTO. Yep. Okay. Sometimes you gotta know your specialty. And Mike is a marketer extraordinaire. And what we're doing here is building anticipation as I get to just do little improv bits. Oh, I hear an echo, Mike. Oh, and we have a new camera coming up. Hey, Mike, have you tried manifesting it? That's great. Benny Hill. Man, if you think this is nervous, just wait until Sunday morning when I'm waiting in line at Denny's and they're running out of pancakes. That was the first thing that came to mind. Hey, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hurrah! Huzzah!
I have pivoted. All of this fancy equipment has failed, so I apologize.
Not at all. I love nothing more than having a chance to just riff and say whatever comes to my mind for a few minutes. And look at that. I'm getting all this encouragement. Kadena Ireland has given me permission to rap. That's pretty great.
I love it. But I love it.
Mike, hello.
Hey,
Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here. Hello to everybody that has joined us today. I hope we're breaking some records.
Yep, exactly. So I just want to give a quick shout out to JC for meditating on the audio. I think that made a difference, as well as to everyone else that's been kicking the ether and all that. But first of all, Mike, huge welcome to Kadena. Welcome to KDA. Welcome to Campfire. Is this an allegory of the community waiting for marketing? Yes.
The funny thing, guys, is this worked 5 minutes ago. Everything was working fine. We pressed go live and everything stopped working. So, which
of course continues the allegory of crypto at large, but it continues working at the end of the day. So, gosh, that is amazing. 619YZ, you're killing it, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Wow. I had a whole bit I was going to say, and then we got into this little freestyle thing. And I got to say, this is maybe even more fun. Huge excitement, Mike, to have you here. The live chat is just absolutely popping off. I've never seen people here starting at 4:30 a.m. waiting for 4 hours. It's like the launch of the new iPhone. Your arrival has been prophesized.
So disappoint everybody.
So Mike, I might just bother you to. Well, I guess I'll give a formal introduction.
Yeah.
Welcome to Kadena Campfire, folks. This is a community-driven initiative where we want to give insights into what's happening at Kadena and come together with the community to chat. This space also provides the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have and like to know more about, so please feel free to do so. If you haven't already figured out, this is going to be super, super interactive, and we're going to be looking at all the live questions. We have a bunch of pre-asked questions, but ultimately, this is all about Mike getting to know the community and community getting to know Mike. So this is going to be a beautiful partnership moving forward. So excited to have this chance for everyone to chat together, and really excited for myself personally to get to know Mike better as well. So I'm going to jump into some quick updates, and then Mike would love to hear a little bit more about you, how you found yourself here today, and all that good stuff.
For sure.
So first of all, exploring Kadena.js. Insights into the Kadena developers blog is now live. Yep, folks, this is true. In fact, I was going to share my screen, but you never know with Google Chrome. Apparently I have too many tabs open to find the right one. In any case, there's a lovely tweet and Medium post down there below. You should check that out. Our head of developer relationships, GenRS, shares his insight into the world of Kadena IO's developer experience, everything from Chain Web Stream, React UI components, and more. That's a whole bunch of new, juicy JavaScript libraries and beyond that will sure be interesting for developers. Next up, we have a partnership with Cappy to expand awareness of Kadena's terminology amongst a wider developer audience. So, pretty sweet. First of all, who doesn't love a Cappy? That's awesome. I like capybaras personally, but I like a CAPY or maybe a KAPY, but CAPI is like definitely in the running for great names ever. We're excited to expand awareness of Kadena's technology amongst a wider developer audience. Interactive meetups will delve deep into the world of Web3, revealing its countless possibilities. Super cool. And then finally, third and certainly not least, and maybe of most interest to folks here, there's an opportunity to win one of 3 Ledger Nano S Plus for liking, retweeting, and asking a question at this very campfire. Yep, folks, you heard me right. I'm going to be constantly asking myself questions or Mike questions and hoping that that adds as an entry. Apparently, I'm not eligible, but you are. And so if you want a Ledger, this is your chance. So when Ledger, today, if you ask a question. Awesome. That is what I got for updates here today. Of course, the biggest update of all is the gift of Mike's presence and attention. So Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So Mike, why don't you start off? Would love to hear just a little bit about your background and journey and how you found yourself to be here today.
Yeah, no, definitely. I could talk about this for the next 41 minutes or however much time we have left. But yeah, no, you know, I'm a Midwest kid, born and raised in the outer area of Chicago, out in the suburbs. You know, been a marketer my whole entire life. You know, always sort of been a big thinker and, you know, challenging sort of the norms. So, you know, I still am in the outskirts of Chicago. I've got 4 great kids and a wife who's also in marketing. So it's all marketing talk all the time here. But yeah, I mean, I started my career actually in the sports industry. And, you know, when I first started learning about marketing was, you know, I was a minority owner in a small company, really small company, like 12 people. And, you know, came up with an idea for a product over what I would like to refer to as a 3 martini lunch. Yeah, took that product, designed it, invented it. You guys can actually see, I think over here, the patent is up on the wall.
Cool.
Yeah, took that to market, took it global, really changed a category. And that sort of started my fascination and love for marketing. You know, it's storytelling. It's about understanding what success looks like. It's about asking questions. You know, so yeah, so from there, you know, had a number of, you know, opportunities here in the Chicagoland area, worked for a Fortune 500 company called US Cellular, did all of their digital and social, went on from there to own a consultancy. We worked with probably some pretty big brands that most people had heard: United Airlines, Choice Hotels, MasterCard. That company was acquired. Moved on, decided at the age of 40 that I wanted to learn how the sausage was made in the agency world. So ended up going to an agency here in Chicago, said, I want you to put me through the ringer for a year. And that's where I sort of learned the other side. I was always client side, you know, working for the corporations and the companies. And I really wanted to learn how the agency side worked. So did that. And then, found Web3, blockchain, crypto, and completely went nuts in this space. So for about 2 years, I was the CMO role. Official title was global head of marketing for a company called Luca. Luca was a crypto data company. We had a couple of retail and a couple of B2B products there. You know, my main focus was sort of rebranding and storytelling. Helped them secure about $200 million in funding at a $1.35 billion valuation. Ended up leaving there and found myself at a very fun, interesting startup called Chain Global. If you guys aren't familiar, Chain Global is owned by Deepak.eth. He's the owner, I think he's still the owner of the world's most valuable and expensive CryptoPunk. Learned a lot there. Done some consulting stuff, man. But yeah, I'm here. I think it's day 10, so don't expect the world community, but we're going to get there.
Apparently you can sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. That's pretty cool. So I see we have a ton of amazing questions that have already streamed in here. I am going to try and balance some of these great pre-asked questions on Discord with some of the amazing questions we have here. But first, I can't resist. I have always been partial to our live question askers. But you know, I gotta do one on Discord first. This is pretty cool. So this is a question from I Like Pow. I like proof of work. Are you going to be focusing on B2B or community side of marketing? Is there one side you are looking forward to most and why?
Yeah, I like POW. That's a good question. It's a great little softball to start off with, so I appreciate that. I mean, the reality is it's going to be a combination of both. I will state publicly right now that community is going to be my biggest focus. It's going to be our team's biggest focus. You guys are the army that we want to build to help take the messaging that we're going to put out into the world. We need you guys. We need your help to really push that forward. While builders and partners are really needed to drive the company and the value of the company, it's going to be very, very much community focused sort of right out of the gate. But the key here is before we focus on what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be interacting with the community, with the B2B space, whomever else, we really need to focus on our brand. We need to know who we are. We need to know what we do. We need to know how we do it. And the reality is if you sit in a room of executives and you ask them, what do we do? Why do we do what we do? The answers are generally pretty different. So luckily here at Kadena, we're a little bit past that point, and the team internally has done a really good job of sort of building that foundation. But we need to focus on that foundation. And, the foundation and the branding, the way I look at it is it's like a house, right? If you build a home, right, the first thing they do is the foundation. And it's the not sexy part. It's, it's not the most exciting, but if you don't have a good solid foundation, you can't build upon it, right? You can't dig deep. If you're going to build a basement, you can't go 2 stories. You can't expand outward. So, I really look at that as, a super important step for what we're trying to build here. I mean, the reality is, the B2B side, they need to understand how easy it's going to be for builders to onboard their projects, right? Marmalade is extremely important. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the reality is we've got to show them that we can solve real world problems. The community is a little bit different, right? Like we need you, everyone listening, to sort of be the, sounding board when we need it, right? Like this, in my opinion, is sort of like our built-in market research group, right? Like you guys know this stuff just as well as we do, if not better. So, we really want to lean on the community. We really want to listen. That's going to be the biggest point, right? Like you guys have been talking for years about, what you think and what you want to see. And we're going to take that into consideration when we're making decisions. And, I made a comment earlier today on Twitter that this is sort of the start of the new Kadena, and it's true, right? It's really us turning over a stone and really focusing on who we are and what we do and why we do it. But community is going to be huge, so that's what I'm most excited about. To be quite honest, is like just engaging with people and learning. I tell my team all the time, I'm never going to be the smartest person in the room. Right? I'm never going to have all the answers. This is about listening and trying things and trying to figure out how we're going to do this, right? We can't continue to do the same things and expect different results. So we've got to be willing to go out on a limb sometimes and take some risks. And man, that's really what I'm most excited about, if you can't tell.
Awesome, Mike. That's amazing. A lot of depth, a lot of detail there. I have seen we have a bazillion interesting questions have come in. So what I might suggest we do is a little bit of popcorn style for the next few ones to see if we can, pop out a bunch of these questions. Here's an interesting one. Let's see here from Vado, just random one that I saw here. Arsenio Coston, is there a backlog of Kadena ads somewhere? I remember seeing one a while ago during the bull run that focused on low gas fees on Kadena.
That's a great question. I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I have gone into some of our old Twitter content, some of our old ad units back there, and I know there's some stuff there. I haven't had a chance to dive into it yet, but it's definitely on my list.
Yeah, I know there's some community members on Discord that have saved all sorts of stickers and such. So,
that's huge.
Honestly, you could have a wealth of knowledge of ads in your own hands, Arsenio. And honestly, if community wants to put together, a collective Google Drive or something and start consolidating one location, that could be freaking awesome. Super helpful.
Yeah, great question there, Arsenio. I'm definitely going to look into that. That's on my never-ending list of things to accomplish.
Awesome. From Mohan S, this is one of the earlier questions. marketing works when it is designed to target particular objective, carefully crafted. What is the objective and steps that Mike has in mind for KDA?
So I always like to sort of use this analogy of, marketing's easy, right? So I do agree. It's about the right message to the right person at the right time on the right platform. The reality is that's incredibly complicated. So as far as, sort of strategies right now and the objectives, it's really going to be out of the gate about branding. Like I can't go out into the community. I can't go onto the market with brand messaging and advertisement and really tell that story until I've got a better handle of what that story is. So again, I need you guys to understand this is day 10. I was at an offsite with leadership for 5 days. So in the office, this is really, I think, day 3. So it's going to take some time, but right, we have to focus on problem and solution based marketing. When we think about how we interact, when we think about how people search Google, right, it's how do I do this, or I'm having this problem, or I'm getting this error. We have to understand, right, like what are the answers to these questions? One of the biggest things I found, in the offsite last week, and, and it was called out, by the team, was we treat ourselves as our own customer, right? Like we're not the customer, right? We're the provider of the information. We need to do, a better job of finding out what people want. And unfortunately, you can't come in 3 or 10 days and really determine that right out of the gate. So it's going to take some time, but we're working really hard on trying to figure out what that messaging is, and then everything will sort of fall in place after that.
Right on. Question from KD Minor. Does any of the marketing strategy revolve around partnerships with dApps, distributed apps, distributed DEXs, distributed exchanges, centralized exchanges, or other ecosystems?
Yeah, no, great question, KDA Minor. I mean, I think that, marketing strategy and partnerships is going to be huge for us. There's a ton of partnerships out there, people we're talking to, ideas that we have. So the answer to that is yes. We're going to talk to everybody, and sort of the first initiative here is to sort of wrap our arms around what we already have. But the partnership team, in conjunction with my team, we're definitely going to be looking at that. And, I'm vowing to be completely transparent with people, and I'm going to be transparent sometimes to a fault. But the reality is I can't get into details around this stuff because I just don't have that information yet.
Yep, absolutely. So I have to say also, Gideon Biden, when I saw this and I read DEXs with an extra E, I was like, oh my God, distributed X's, like ex partners, girlfriends. This sounds terrifying, but I'm happy to realize those DEXs. Anyway,
my wife doesn't know anything about this space, so we're safe.
That's right. We notified all of Mike's exes. We're all watching. No. We got this is a fun question. I love this from Fad. What's the 90-day plan, Mike? What are the first 90 days in office look like?
Fad, I think, is a burner account for Stuart, because he's been asking me that question as well. No, I mean,
Stuart Haber. No.
The first 90 days, is really going to be about listening, right? We have to take and be very cautious on how we move forward. So the first 90 days is branding, right? It's understanding the things I mentioned earlier. So, we have a new team member that we're in the process of talking to. Hopefully this person will be able to come on board as early as next week. They're going to really help us sort of put some groundwork down around sort of the visual design language of the brand and of the company. We have brought in a new creative agency that is not only going to help us take the brand work that we've been working on and push it forward, but also redesign and relaunch this website, which will be coming out very, very soon, sometime mid or to early Q4. So that's going to be really the first 90 days. Now, outside of that, it's going to be really just sort of taking an audit of what we have. When we look at things, right? Like, let me take a step back. We have a ton of really great stuff going on inside this company. We have super smart people. We have all of this technology I can't even tell you guys how blown away I was by just the in-depth level of future thought that leaders here were having, but somebody needs to bring that all together. And that's really what I need to do. So as cliche of an answer as it is, right, the first 90 days is just trying to figure out who the hell we are and what the hell we're doing. And then we can take and push forward. But there's a lot of low-hanging fruit, right? There's brand, there's website, there's creative. The creative person we're hoping to bring in, has worked with me, prior at two jobs. So if you look back at the companies that I've been with, right, you're going to see that level of excellence that we're going to expect. And really that foundation is really going to be the key part. Like, we don't want to just run without having that foundation set.
Right on, Mike. I'm going to jump back some Discord questions. From Miguel, do you agree with the fact that Kadena is the only crypto project that solves the trilemma? If so, are you going to use that as a strong argument for your marketing campaigns?
Man, oh man. Yeah, no, definitely. That is a huge part of it. I agree, right? And we need to push this sort of trilemma narrative. We need to really make sure that this resonates to be impactful, right? The key to this is sort of showing, not saying. So while this is the backbone of the initiatives that we really have planned, right, we need to provide the infrastructure and those tools for the different use cases, that are going to rely on this sort of scalable, decentralized, secure blockchain product that we have, right? So if we think about Bridge, if we think about ZK, right, all things that we are actively looking at and working on, right, and those things are designed to prevent hacks and exploits, right? We just saw more hacks the other day. We need to make sure that, when someone chooses to build on Kadena, they have that tooling and the open source code to launch. So yes, it's incredibly important. And as you guys know, right, we are horizontally scalable. We can simply add more chains as demand grows, but I have to get everybody talking the same way. We've got to get that story right. We've got to get that messaging out there in the right way.
Right on. Got a question here, which is, I think it'd be an easy one for Mike, but a fun one for the moderator. We got a ticker. The ability to enforce NFT royalties and policies is enormous and has the potential, to bring business interest to Kadena, artists, and the NFT community at large stand to benefit from the Marmalade V2 standard. I might have missed a word or phrase there, but hopefully the question came in clearly. That's a question from Fudo about NFT royalties and policies on Marmalade V2.
Definitely. Fudo, thanks for the question. That's a good one. Before I dive in, I want to touch base on Marmalade V2 real fast. So the truth of the matter is that we've been talking about Marmalade V2 for a long time, right? We all know that it's amazing. We all know that it's going to solve all these great problems, blah, 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 blah. It's all marketing speak, right? What I will tell you guys right now is Marmalade V2 will be live next month. There will be what I think, and I hope you guys agree, is a huge collaboration with a project that will be the first in our space. And I am crazy excited to bring that to you guys. When I first heard about it, I was pretty blown away. So I just want to make that clear. Marmalade V2 is a massive initiative for us. It is our flagship product and will continue to be our flagship product. What I need to focus on, right, and I always use this analogy, is if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And I want to make sure that whatever we're doing with Marmalade V2, right, from a community perspective, from a developer perspective, from an NFT perspective, right, we need people to care. We need them to know that it exists. And getting that right is probably the most important product piece that my team has to look at. So yes, we have the opportunity to solve lots of problems. We have the ability, to make changes to things live. We have the opportunity to interact with, NFTs beyond sort of the, 8-bit JPEG monkey things, whatever it is, right? But like the beautiful part that Fudo didn't mention, right, is all of the utility that we can provide, right? I made a comment on Twitter that, the art age of NFTs is fantastic, but my opinion is that's over, right? We need to look at utility. Like when we worked with Tiffany and Co. on their NFT drop, right? That was probably, if not one of the biggest NFT drops of 2022. I think we sold something like $13 million in 12 minutes. And the beauty around that, right, is the utility that goes along with it, right? It's that digital certificate of authenticity. And that's what excites me so much about Marmalade V2 is all of those things that we struggled to figure out already built in to Marmalade V2, right? It's already there, and all sorts of other things. Like I could talk for days on the crazy types of ideas that we have around how we can change the world of NFTs, and not from the art side, but the utility side and the tokenization side and the authenticity side and NFT gaming, and the ideas go on forever. So I hope that answered Fudo's question. It might be a long way around, but Marmalade V2, Randy and I talk about it all the time. It's definitely our baby.
I'm thinking the community is loving that the answer went beyond the scope of Fudo. I'm seeing some super high excitement in the chat here. So thanks for that answer. I have a question want to bring from Kadena Ireland. This is asked live. I think it's just a fun get to know you personal one. What was the key factor for you pursuing the CMO position with Kadena, and what most attracted you to the Kadena team and its underlying technology?
Oh my God. Kadena Ireland, you've been engaging me on Twitter, and I appreciate it. You've been making me nervous, and you've making me blush. So I appreciate all of that. I mean, this is a fun question, right? Like, why Kadena? And you know, I knew this question was going to come up, and I was hoping that it would come up. And the truth is, I probably went through 6 or 7 iterations in my mind. The reality is, and it's super cliche to say, and you'll probably flame me for this, but you totally can, but the people were my main draw, right? The people here are amazing. It's nice to work with adults again. I get to see people's faces, hear their voices, instead of talking to some PFP on Discord all the time, right? Like, that was a huge thing. But that was my initial reaction. What I quickly learned, right, is that while the people here are fantastic, right? And I genuinely mean that. The technology is mind-blowing, right? When I started to dive deeper, you know, I'd ask myself, and I'd talk to some, you know, buddies and colleagues and those types of things. And I'm like, why isn't Kadena way bigger than they appear in this space, right? Like the things I was seeing online, on social, wherever else, didn't match up with sort of the vibe and the feeling I was getting from, you know, talking to people during the interview process. You know, and I said to myself, I'm like, damn, somebody needs to come in and just tell their story, right? Like this is not the most complex problem in the world, right? You know, and it's I feel like Kadena was always an if you build it, they will come type company. And the truth is, they need somebody to come in and start screaming from the rooftops. Now, luckily for everybody else, I'm not afraid of heights, and I'm pretty good at screaming. So, you know, that was a big part of it, right? And I mean, even to put it in more simple terms, right? Kadena's the underdog. You know, I'm a sports guy, been in sports, played sports, right? That world of the underdog, right, is so powerful. You know, and in this world of, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum and everybody else, like we're the little guy. Like we're not even a challenger brand yet. Hell, we're not even really a brand yet, right? Like we got a lot of work to do. So, I mean, there's nowhere really to go from up. So, you know, probably, again, transparency is going to be a key here, but like I've had a chip on my shoulder since 5th grade. I had my 5th grade teacher told me in front of my parents that I wasn't smart and I wouldn't amount to anything in my life, right? I held that chip on my shoulder for, God, a million years, right? But I've been doing in my career what people said couldn't be done, right? I've had some incredible, incredible success, right? I've had some things that I regret not being able to accomplish, but I live for that David versus Goliath moment, right? I don't want to be Bitcoin. I don't want to be Ethereum. I just want to be Kadena. And that is the vibe that everybody else has here. Yeah, I'm a huge UFC fan. I owned a company that I sold to the UFC years ago. And Conor McGregor, who is very controversial, right? He says it in an absolute perfect way. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. And that's why Kadena.
Incredible, Mike. I think there's some real resonance in your answer there. One hit a quitta saying underdog NFTs. There we go. First one named Mike.
Nobody wants to see my ugly ass on an NFT. I'll tell you that.
You say that now. You say that now. Oh man, this is great. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Adrian Cardozo says legend. JC says Mike versus Goliath. Exambi says take over. So yeah, Mike, thank you. Your messaging is already, I think, resonating, and it's such a great indicator for what all is to come. Oh my gosh.
And I hope everybody realizes that, like, and I know the team does, and as we start to do more of these, right, like, this is who I am, right? I'm a big personality. I don't bullshit people. I'm very transparent to a fault sometimes, right? But I'm passionate. Like, I believe in this place. I would not be here if I didn't think that we were going to absolutely just turn this table upside down, Real Housewives style, and change the game. Like, that's what we need to do. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. And we're here to do something different.
Hell yeah.
Now I'm getting more excited.
I love it. I love it. Let's see here. I have a question from, let's see here. Some from Discord here I want to jump onto.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I see one from Scanders. Do you have any ready planner ideas for Kadena to be successful among other blockchains like ETH or ADA, considering it's so hard now in the crypto space to compete as the competition is so strong?
Scanders, great question. I appreciate it. I'm not worried about anybody else but us, right? I'm not worried about ETH. I'm not worried about Bitcoin. I'm not worried about ADA. We are Kadena. We have tons of ideas already that we're pitching internally, right? These are huge ideas, but the key is testing and listening to feedback from you guys, right? So I'm not concerned about what anybody else is doing but us, our team. Everything that we do going forward is going to have a goal, right? My team is already tired on day 10 of me saying, why are we doing this? And what does success look like? There has to be a metric. We're going to throw a bunch of stuff up against the wall and see what sticks, and we're going to test. You guys are going to be the ones that are going to be letting us know whether or not that test is working. If it works, we scale. If it doesn't work, we pivot and we try something else. That's the only way we're going to be able to do this. And the fact of the matter is that nobody else matters but us.
Unreal. Just got to give a quick shout out that we got some VIPs in the Kadena audience. I see John Wigley, the CTO here, in the comments. Super good hello there. I think I saw Randy Dynamic. Oh, there we go. We got some rocket ships from Randy, Chief Experience Officer. Super cool. This is what I love about our Kadena chat. On the side here is at these campfires, it's everybody. It's community. It's project leaders. It's leaders at Kadena. It's people that are passionate about the Kadena crew, the Kadena fam, the Kadena army. People taking Mike's taking the gloves off. Absolutely. This is I think we're really getting fired up here. I don't know about you, but unreal. I have a bunch of, there's so many amazing questions here. I have to jump to some random ones from the, here's a spicy one from Mohan S. Question: what is your opinion about our current website?
Mohan S. Randy's on, so I have to be careful what I say. No, I'm just joking. A website, right? A website is a tool, right? Just like I think the analogy I gave to Randy last week is a website is a tool, just like a hammer. Okay, a hammer has two jobs, right? It's to pound a nail into something or start the process of removing a nail from something, right? So I don't care about design. I don't care about what something looks like. We set brand guidelines, and as long as we're following those guidelines and we have consistency, it doesn't matter to me if it's pink, it's purple, it's blue, it's yellow, it's orange, right? None of that matters. What matters is accomplishing our goal, right? So we have a number of goals for our website. One of them, right, which is Randy's driver, is we need to have a first-class experience, right? We need people to engage. We want people to know, hey, we're here, we're innovative, we've got these crazy Web3 ideas and all this other stuff that we're working on building into it, right? That's a huge component of it. But if it doesn't accomplish our goals, it doesn't matter. So that's going to be this fine line as we move forward, right, on accomplishing our goals, getting our messaging right, generating leads, whatever that might be. And I don't have a flag to stick in the ground on that right now. So our old website is there. It's fine. Does it accomplish our goals? I don't know. I know that our new one will. So it's coming very soon. Again, full transparency. I mean, we're talking like early to mid-November. This will be done in live in some iteration, and we have the pedal to the floor to make sure that happens. I do not miss deadlines. I hate missing deadlines. It will not happen. It will be live. It will be great. It will live and breathe and we will expand on that. But to me, the old website's there to serve a purpose. The new one is what I'm focused on.
Great answer. Very, very cool. We're going to go jump back to Discord here for a moment. This is for a question from Moon. How would you approach influencer marketing in the crypto space? Can you provide examples of successful influencer partnerships you've orchestrated in the past? And Moon has just slid into your DMs. Just kidding.
So I'm going to guess that Moon is one of my friends like Dan Held or Pomp or Aubrey Strobel, but I'm teasing. Influencers are an incredibly important part of what we do, right? But from a corporate perspective, they can be really scary, right? I've done tons of influencer stuff in the world, right? Traditional influencers, non-traditional influencers, using sports personalities or business personalities to, figure all of this out. I've got great relationships in the space and out of the space. And I know that we've been very, very conservative with influencers in the past. And we know that they play an important role in what we want to try to do. But we have to have a strategy first, right? I was consulting for a DeFi project, a handful of months ago. And the CEO was, we need influencers, we need influencers, we need influencers. And the truth is, what the hell do we want them to do for us? If we're just looking at Lyft and having people see our brand, I can do a better job in a different channel. If I want them to perform an action, right, I need to work with that influencer to figure out how their community can perform that action. So yeah, I mean, influencers are going to be a part of what we do going forward, but it has to make sense, right? We can't just give somebody the ball and have them run with it if we don't know where the end zone is. And that's going to be the biggest key for us as we move forward with influencers.
Cool. Very cool. I'm taking some notes here, Mike, some mental notes as you talk, learning some things about the scope of marketing. Shout out to Anastasia Bez for giving us hype, Mike. That's great. Love it. Yep. Bez with the zingers there. All right, let's see here. Oh, this is a fun one from Ryan Maletti. When you talk about Kadena to Ticketmaster, what will you say?
Well, the first thing I would do is I would call my friend who is the EVP of ticketing at Ticketmaster, and I would continue to make fun of him about the whole Taylor Swift debacle, which was very fun. That's a story for another time. We were actually in Mexico City together with the Miami Heat for a basketball game in a prior life. And the whole Taylor Swift thing went down while we were together. So I got to see a lot of that back and forth, which was fun. But no, seriously, I mean, is talking to Ticketmaster huge? Of course it's huge, but we're going to have a number of conversations, right, with tons of big brands, whether it's Ticketmaster or anybody else, right? And again, I know more about what Ticketmaster specifically is doing, ironically enough, but there's a ton of due diligence that has to go through that. And we've got to go down this path of due diligence to try to really figure out why we would engage someone like that. It's a great idea to look at big brands and how we can work together. It's definitely worth exploring, but it's got to make sense, right? So again, I mean, specific examples, and we'll take Ticketmaster out of the equation. I mean, yeah, we're talking to some huge brands right now. I mean, Randy and I were having conversations over the weekend that, will blow people's minds if and when we can get this stuff done. So, I mean, we're going to have those conversations, but again, they have to make sense, right? They all have to have a goal. We have to know what we're trying to achieve. And it can't just be building stuff, right? Building stuff is great, but there's a lot of people that can build stuff. We want to build the right stuff. We want to build the right stuff for, our community. We want to build the right stuff for our team internally, and we want to build the right stuff for our brand. So they will happen. Ticketmaster is a different animal, but yeah, I mean, we'll go down the path on all of those.
So normally this would be the point in time where I start to slowly wrap the campfires. We're at 9:45, but this is so lively and fiery. Mike, would you be okay staying on another 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Let me double check my calendar real fast. But yeah, no, that's totally cool. Let's do it. This is fun.
Hell yeah. Love it. Incredible. So we have some other spicy questions from Discord that I want to make sure we get to. Continuing the theme of the big company asks from K account DeFi Re, will you be reaching out to companies like Amazon? Kadena is the Amazon of crypto, so why not?
DeFi Rye, thank you for this question. I do have contacts at Amazon. You know, I can't plant a flag in the ground about anything specifically about them, right? But like I said, I mean, we're talking to a ton of huge brands right now, and if the opportunities exist, we're going to take a look at them. You know, sometimes it's not the right fit, but again, you got to remember, you know, it's a long road. If Amazon wants to talk or someone has a connection, send it to me. I'm all ears. But it's got to make sense. So again, I think if we just take that step back, that, you know, I can't talk specifically about conversations we're having, right? Like an old mentor of mine taught me, a deal's not a deal till a deal's a deal, and I don't want to put bad juju on that deal, right? But like we're gonna get there, and it's gonna be monumental what we're able to accomplish with some of these partners.
Awesome. Right on. Gonna jump back to some live questions here. I like this one from Jack Lee. This is a tough one. What is your 80-20 Pareto? Wow, that's some econ jargon there for KDA. Would you concentrate on NFT or DeFi or both? Would you go for the big B2B brands we can use to pull marketing instead of push marketing? What is your outlook?
Jack, I would have loved this question like 6 months from now, because I'll definitely have, you know, a deeper understanding of sort of where we're at. You know, I think that the key here is that, how do I put it? You know, we have to be very cautious on how we move forward, right? Like, to me, right, we need to build this foundation. We need to look at solving problems, whatever those problems are. I mean, a perfect example is, you know, we were talking about some stuff last week in our leadership offsite, and, you know, we're working on some programs that might not help us reach the objectives that we have as a business, and we have to pivot from that. So I think the reality is I can't answer this question yet, because we just don't know. And this is all part of that branding work. And I know that, you know, it's sort of a roundabout way to an answer, but like, I don't know yet. And I think that's fair, right? Like, I think if I came in with all the answers, you guys would see through the BS and be like, this guy is just selling us a bunch of stuff. The reality is that I don't know is probably the best answer I can give.
Right on. I think it's so critical to, I always like working with people that when they have a strong opinion that they have real insight on, they give it. And then they also know their limits and their boundaries and say, hey, you know, sometimes you need to gather more information. And the best thing to do is to say, let's gather information, revisit this. It's a really interesting question. And Mike, I think your answer is perfect. Spot on.
Again, I have an opinion, right? I think I know, but again, it's not flushed out to that point. Like, I don't want to be wishy-washy. I don't want to say something and then change my mind further on down the road. But again, partnerships is going to be massive, whether it's NFTs, whether it's DeFi, whether it's, you know, JavaScript developers. I mean, all of that stuff is on the table. You know, we just have to figure out what works the best. And again, that goes back to this theory of testing, right? We're going to test all of it, and we're going to see what happens. It's the beautiful part. You guys are going to see the successes and the failures right alongside us.
Spicy question from New Type. Marathon Digital and Riot are publicly traded companies that mine Bitcoin. How can we market to them / motivate them to mine KDA? It's more green and profitable to mine KDA over Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into KDA conversations and that sort of stuff. It's to be honest, right? It's not what I care about, right? KDA is a big part of what we do. And the reality is that I want to focus on solving problems. I want to focus on telling stories. You know, if I do my job and the team does our job, we won't have to worry about finding publicly traded companies to mine KDA, because they're going to know about us. We'll be in their consideration set, and they'll do it on their own. So that's not a focus of mine. You know, my focus is to build a brand, solve problems, and really drive adoption of this platform.
Right on. Excellent. Excellent. Seeing a lot of appreciation here for your answers, Mike. Ryan Melody wants you back in 6 months. No doubt, Mike. Hey, can we bother you to be a regular guest in this campfire series?
Hey, as long as Stuart and Will and everybody else let me come back, I'm more than happy to.
Hell yeah. I love it. I think given all the excitement over what you're doing here, going to be a easy ask there. Amazing.
I
Katie,
saw soccer or football down below.
Soccer or football? Oh man.
So that's a great question. Randy and I talked about that. He's from Europe and he calls it soccer or he calls it football. Here's the best part. I love football. I love soccer. I've sponsored many teams. As long as that team sponsorship accomplishes my goals, I love them both equally. But I am a Bears fan. I'm not going to lie.
Oh man, that's great. Oh, I saw another question way earlier. I can't remember it. That was going it basically was Chicago pizza or New York pizza. Where do you stand?
So New York pizza is Chicago pizza. Chicago style pizza, right? I love. It's fantastic, but it's different, right? So the reality is in Chicago, the time that we usually eat Chicago style pizza is when someone comes into town and wants to try Chicago style pizza. Traditionally, we eat what's called tavern style pizza, which was invented in the bars. And yeah, that's my absolute favorite. I love New York style pizza. I love all pizza. Who the hell am I kidding? But if I were to take what I eat in Chicago, which is the tavern style, and put it up to New York, I'd probably take tavern style every day. But I do love to cook New York style Neapolitan pizza here at the house. So
we got a couple more get to know you questions. Ron the Wizard is very eager to know Sox or Cubs.
Damn it, Ron the Wizard. So I helped US Cellular get the naming rights to US Cellular Field, and my father-in-law is a massive White Sox fan. A good friend of mine's dad used to play for the Cubs. I have to go White Sox, but the truth is I'm not a big baseball fan. If I had to root for a team, I would root for the Sox, but I have no issues when the Cubs do well.
All right. Awesome. Well, people are enjoying your answers.
No Hawaiian pizza. I saw that.
When Cadiza, okay, we'll keep workshopping that. Oh man, Tyler, you passed the silly questions and don't pass mine, which is important. Hey, Sebastian, repost it, man. I probably missed it in the literally thousands of comments that we've gotten on this video.
Hit me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, this is great. What SEC team? Yeah. Okay. I think I have a few more questions. I just have to scroll through the live chat randomly and just pick one just see what comes in here. Let's go with this one from El Cid de Kadena. What branding processes and partnerships would you see as a main goal from the start so we, the collective, can tap into our connections for you? Uh-oh. Did I freeze or did Mike freeze?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're back. I don't know if my internet froze or your internet froze, but in any case, we had a dramatic pause for this answer.
Yeah, that was on purpose. We planned it. El Cid, I think from a partnership standpoint, right? Like we're gonna get to this point where we tap into you guys a lot more, and it's actually a great segue into something that I wanted to talk with everybody about. But what we need right now is ideas, right? We need suggestions. I firmly believe that there are no bad ideas, and I've told the team internally this a lot, right? Is we've got to think differently, right? And it's cliche to say, and it's the old Apple adage, but we need ideas, right? If you guys have ideas, if you have contacts that we can connect with, if you have suggestions on how we can make things better or look at things different, like we're all open, right? Like ideas don't have to just come from a marketing department. I mean, some of the best ideas I've ever executed have come from finance or legal. Traditionally, I don't have the best relationship with legal, but that's a different story. But right, like throw stuff out there, I mean, we're going to get to that point. And, you know, I said at the beginning of this, right? Like, we really want to engage the community. Like, you guys are the most important thing that we have here. And I truly believe that. So, you know, we are going to be launching some really cool stuff. To give you guys a little bit more insight, I made the comment about this is the new Kadena, right? So, you know, I want to announce a couple of things today that we're very excited about. We want to give back. We want you guys to stay engaged. We want you to be a part of this. So after this live stream, we're going to be launching a Zeely Quest. So everybody can start participating and have an opportunity to earn some really cool stuff. You know, we're talking basic, simple 10-day sprint till the end of the month. And if it keeps working, right, and you guys like it, then we'll keep it going and we'll start increasing, you know, prize values and those types of things. But we need your help, right? So ideas, suggestions are huge. So I'm excited to launch this Zeely thing. It's lots and lots and lots of fun, you know, and we're going to have some cool stuff around it. You know, the other thing is, you know, we talked a lot last week at the offsite about people, right? People being who Kadena is, and it's really the people that drive everything. So, you know, we've had what I would say a heavy hand in the community with rules, banning, muting, those types of things. So I have tasked the team with coming up with some new guidelines around how you guys can interact with us, right? And some of the things are going to stay the same. Some of the things, right, I think we're probably a little bit too heavy-handed on. So we're going to, over the course of, you know, the next week or so, we're going to start on banning some people, right? We're going to be the more friendlier new Kadena, right? That, you know, understands that people disagree with us, right? That if somebody has a suggestion and it doesn't work with what we're doing or we're thinking, that's okay, right? Like, we want that feedback, whether it's negative or positive. So, you know, I think going back to the question is, it's right now we don't need partnership conversations. We need to engage the community. We need you guys to, you know, be active for us and help amplify our messaging. So again, we're going to be making a lot of changes to bring people back and to make things better. Again, I want everybody to know that, you know, your voice is heard and it's important. No idea is a bad idea. Like, you can disagree with us all you want. We don't claim to have all the answers, right? If I did, you would see through that BS immediately. So lots and lots of stuff coming with the community. So I appreciate that question. And I know I segued into something a little bit different, but it's important. And the community is the most important thing we have.
Wow, amazing. Well, that's pretty freaking awesome. We usually only get the updates at the beginning, and Mike is setting a new standard here for campfires in terms of how much alpha and announcements and cool activity can be packed into one session. So I have a feeling, Mike, that there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna go back and rewatch that 30 seconds there and hear about Zeely and hear about some of the new Kadena and hear about some of the initiatives you're driving forward. I'm just so on the edge of my seat to learn more about these community campaigns and what you have in store.
No, definitely. It's, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, it's about trying things, right? And the community is going to help drive this. We've got the ideas, you know, we've got the ability to push things further. You know, you're going to see a lot of changes. And that's why I've sort of dubbed this sort of the new Kadena. And, you know, I've asked the team, like, I mean, we actually built it in Slack for our internal team, right? Like, everybody can just throw ideas out there and we're going to test stuff. We're going to see what happens and we're going to ideate on it and we're going to run it through you guys, right? Like, I want, I want the community to have a say. I want you guys to be able to vote on things and make this, you know, a little bit more democratic if we have the opportunity. I want to ask you your opinion on things. I want to use the community as market research. You guys know this stuff way better than I do. So, I mean, let's just work together and, you know, we want to continue building this brand and we want to continue scaling this company and driving up the value of our brand. Like, we're going to have to do it together.
Incredible. I have heard a rumor that there might be a spontaneous Twitter Spaces after party with you.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Confirm or deny? Oh my gosh, incredible.
I've got some more time. There's still a million questions I didn't answer. I want to make sure I have the opportunity to talk with everybody. So yeah, let's head over to Spaces. Somebody on the team will get it set up and we'll keep going.
Hell yeah, I love that. Folks, let's just hear it for Mike, though. He's been just on fire this whole hour. Mike, such a pleasure to have you on the stream. Such a delight to know that you are now the Chief Marketing Officer of Kadena. Seems like we're all in good hands. And just personally, it's been really fun to chat with you and get to know you. So look forward to continue the conversation online and offline. And we'll definitely, it's now my prerogative to try and make sure we get you back on the stream regularly. This is too fun.
No, I appreciate that. And I think we have another little treat for anybody that wants to participate in the Zeely. We have a code, which is new Kadena. If you put that in there, it'll get you some extra experience points. So you had to watch all the way to the end to get that. So make sure you don't share it. So let's hop over to Spaces and have some more fun, guys. Thanks so much.
Right on.